Business plan implementation, chapter 5, is where our discussion begins today. And when we look at this topic around implementation, it's important to understand that there's three key principles in order to help make the business move in the right direction through your business planning. Taking a leadership role in how we implement is important. Making sure it's done so in a quality fashion is significant. And making sure that we look at it from a solutions based perspective and using a strength based or appreciative inquiry type of approach is also beneficial. So let's look at leadership first. And there's five key principles that we want to really lock in on for the leadership discussion and how we implement. And the first of those is authenticity. So with authenticity, what we're looking to do is to be able to really understand how leaders pay close attention to the detail of their work and that they are realistically engaging people and doing so in a way that helps build their critical thinking skills, motivates people, and then helps them get the plan through the implementation process. Awareness is the second one. Leaders are acutely aware of the positive and negative activities around them. So you need people to understand change and how it's necessary to then train them to effectively not only be aware of that change, but how to make it positive when implementing your plan. Acknowledgement is next. And when we look at our leaders, no matter what type of organization or institution they may be in and what the structure may be, we've got to recognize the work that's being submitted by the people that are doing the work, our frontline employees. So are we taking a leadership role there as a function of acknowledgement in our implementation? Next is accountability. And then leaders may find taking action to really be difficult because there are a lot of temptations to take a leader off the correct path for the planning. The idea here is in accountability is to make sure that we stay focused so that personnel can stay focused and then we can make our plan stay on track as we move forward. Action planning is the next one. The steps of the leader require action at just about every turn. So the question that we pose here is, how do I know that I've taken the role of a leader correctly by taking actions in the right manner? So feedback is what we get in action planning that tells us that our roadmap is on the right path. So this leadership around implementation and taking a leadership role or stance is very important, as is quality. And from quality, we actually get benefits in implementation. And those benefits are quantifiable. The consistency of the deliverables, completeness, our conformity, less time wasted and money for that matter over the long run, clarity of the work, the less rework and fewer unusable deliverables are put on back on the table, higher productivity resulting in potentially lower cost, and then stakeholder satisfaction, delivering what was agreed upon in the time and fashion that it was agreed upon to do. Now, that leads us to our third piece, which is this appreciative approach. So, we want to leverage the strengths of our workplace and put ourselves in a position to get that plan moving forward or to even get anything else that we're working on to implement in our organization moving forward. So, what are the tools we need? How do we go to a position of strength? So, appreciative inquiry really looks at the search for the best in people, their organizations, and the world around them. This systematic approach about what gives life to an organization. And so, what does that mean? That means we focus on our strengths, not our weaknesses, to create new opportunities. So, in the 20th century workplace, we looked at problem solving. And with problem solving, we really organize around what's broken, and that's limited in its focus as well as it's very draining because we focus on the word problem, which means that we pull all of our resources toward a problem. In the 21st century workplace, we work more from an appreciative approach where we're really organizing around what is working, what are our strengths. And so that creates opportunities for us. And then that puts us in the position to design and create solutions. So think in terms of we are transitioning from looking at the problem and draining or pulling on our resources versus designing and creating to look at solutions which really open up our resources and our abilities. So, how do we make this work for us on a daily basis? Where we're looking to seek and be around people who are different from us and have a different perspective so that we are in a position to learn and they can learn from us. We're challenging people beyond their perceived capabilities. We're not allowing people to say, I'm comfortable where I am. We're trying to grow and develop and train them. So we challenge them as well as coach them to new methods to accelerate the learning process. But most importantly, what we do is we enable them. So we help develop people in a way that allows us to then step aside and let them move forward, coming up with the best solution they can come up with. The U.S. Department of Labor really needs these core competencies of skills, interpersonal information, systems, processes, technology, as well as competence from a basic standpoint and thinking skills and personal qualities. So the question that's posed is, how are we going to approach things differently so that we can obtain a different outcome and then develop some of these personal skills? Well, that's why we pose this particular method of an appreciative approach in doing so. Here's some definitions that might be beneficial for you. Looking at leadership itself, looking at quality and what we do and how we do it, and then looking, of course, at an appreciative inquiry approach to what we do. So, what did we learn today? Understand how these three elements not only help make up the business plan, not only help business plan implementation, but overall can also help the business leadership, quality, appreciative inquiry, the positioning of the plan and the business to put us in the position to be successful long term. Here is your thought for the day. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not as a threat.